Where you been, pal? You don't return my calls.
I've been kind of busy.
Taking pictures of your friend. Spider-Man killed my father.
I'm Spider-Man. No more.
Sick of me off your loyalty to Spider-Man and not your best friend.
Back in 2004, Spider-Man 2 swung into theaters and forever changed the way superhero movies were seen by audiences and critics alike. It wasn't just another comic book sequel, it became a cultural milestone that perfectly captured the emotional depth, action, and heart that define Peter Parker's story. Building on the massive success of the first film, this sequel took everything to a higher level, both in storytelling and spectacle, offering fans a journey that was more personal, more dramatic, and ultimately more human. At its core, it was a story about responsibility, sacrifice, and the painful balance between being a hero and being just a man trying to live a normal life. The film centered on Peter Parker, played once again by Tobey Maguire, as he struggled to juggle his life as Spider-Man with his personal relationships and ambitions. 2 years had passed since Peter first gained his powers, and while his heroism had made him a symbol of hope for New York City, it had also taken a deep toll on his personal life. His friendship with Harry Osborn had become strained, his relationship with Mary Jane Watson had grown complicated, and his own sense of purpose was beginning to blur. The movie explored Peter's internal conflict, his desire to live as a regular person, and his inability to turn away from his responsibility as Spider-Man. This emotional depth became the film's greatest strength, grounding the superhero fantasy in real human emotion. Tobey Maguire delivered one of the most memorable performances of his career, portraying Peter Parker not just as a hero in costume, but as a young man burdened by expectations and loneliness. His quiet moments of doubt, guilt, and love gave the movie its soul. Alongside him, Kirsten Dunst returned as Mary Jane Watson, bringing warmth and vulnerability to her character. The chemistry between Peter and Mary Jane was tender yet tragic, showing how their love was constantly challenged by Peter's secret life. And of course, James Franco returned as Harry Osborn, consumed by his growing hatred toward Spider-Man, whom he blamed for his father's death. These interwoven relationships created a web of emotions that made every conflict feel deeply personal. One of the film's most iconic aspects was its villain, Doctor Otto Octavius, portrayed brilliantly by Alfred Molina. Unlike a typical antagonist, Doc Ock was not driven purely by evil. He was a man with noble ambitions who fell victim to tragedy and hubris. Once a respected scientist and mentor to Peter, Octavius's experiment to create sustainable energy goes horribly wrong, leaving him fused with mechanical tentacles that develop their own sinister intelligence. His transformation from genius to madman was both tragic and terrifying. Molina brought a sense of humanity to the role, making Doctor Octopus one of the most complex and sympathetic villains in superhero cinema. His scenes, whether calm or explosive, were filled with nuance, making him a perfect reflection of Peter's own internal battle between control and chaos. The film's action sequences were revolutionary for their time. Every fight scene was choreographed with precision and emotion, pushing the limits of early 2000s visual effects. The train battle between Spider-Man and Doctor Octopus remains one of the greatest action scenes ever filmed. The tension, speed, and intensity of that sequence captured everything that makes Spider-Man unique, a hero who fights not just with strength, but with determination and heart. Even in moments of triumph, Peter's struggles were evident. He saved lives, but at great personal cost. The visual effects team achieved a stunning balance of CGI and practical stunts, ensuring the action looked grounded while still larger than life. Beyond the spectacle, Spider-Man 2 was a film about failure and redemption. Peter's powers began to weaken as he doubted himself, symbolizing how his emotional and mental state directly affected his strength as a hero. It was a bold storytelling choice that made audiences connect even more deeply with him. The scene where Peter decides to give up being Spider-Man, walking away from his costume and responsibilities, was one of the most powerful in the film. Inspired by the Spider-Man No More storyline from the comics, it portrayed the exhaustion of living up to impossible expectations. But it also reminded viewers that true heroism lies not in perfection, but in perseverance.